Now to the world of dance and a performance 2 years and more than 18,000 kilometres in the making. The works of the revered 20th century choreographer George Balanchine have rarely been performed in WA, with ballet companies having to apply to stage the famous pieces. Now students of the WA Academy of Performing Arts have won that right, training with a top ballet mistress from New York to recreate Balanchine's first ever American ballet. Claire Nichols reports.
When the curtain goes up, you've got 17 beautiful women on stage, all with their arms extended and raised, and it's a very powerful statement. I think it's this amazing combination of pure geometry and patterns, and it's got a very atmospheric, almost moonlit and romantic tone to it.
The ballet is George Balanchine's Serenade. Originally written for students at the School of American Ballet in 1934, it's being performed some 77 years later by students on the opposite side of the world. The piece has been taught by Eve Lawson, a former ballerina. She works for the Balanchine Trust in New York, travelling the world to re-stage performances of the choreographer's works. I met one of the staff members at a friend's wedding, believe it or not, in South Africa. And we started talking about Balanchine, and he started talking about his work here and how amazing it would be to bring Balanchine to Perth, to West Australia Academy of the Performing Arts. And I knew that Balanchine hadn't been done in West Australia for quite a long time. I think it's been 30 years. The gap between performances points to the difficulty in getting the rights to Balanchine's ballets.
The Balanchine Trust is very strict, so we had to send over a video, an audition video basically, to show what the students are like, whether we're good enough to actually perform this.
Staff and students spent a month working on their audition video before sending it to New York.
We thought they looked good, our students look good. It's very hard to know what the Trust is looking for, and it's such a special piece. And it's not often given to institutions easily, I would say. So we really worked hard to get this.
Once permission was granted, the school started scraping together the money to bring Eve Lawson to Perth. The whole project, from flights to costumes, cost about $12,000, and the Academy relied on sponsorships and grants to make it happen. When the ballet mistress arrived in Perth mid-year, WAAPA staff saw their students step up in their efforts to perfect Balanchine's unique style.
Quite nerve-wracking for them in the beginning, but Eve is so lovely, she's so inspirational. She sets the standard very high, but in such a positive manner.
They absorb correction. They've taken all of the technical comments that I've made, all of the stylistic comments, and been so eager to absorb all of this. And the levels that they've come up to are just so impressive. Arabesque going back, really freeze each one, picture and picture and picture, and then let it go running. Go.
It's been a challenging process for the young dancers, adjusting to a style very different to traditional classical ballet.
Balanchine's style requires a very quick transition in movement to movement, and a very clear and defined musicality. And it's really neoclassical in its approach. It would be, if you were to compare it to a Picasso painting or a Stravinsky score, it took traditional classical ballet technique and pushed the envelope one step further.
Eve Lawson likes what she sees and plans to extend her stay in Perth. Once this performance is over, she'll stage Serenade again, this time with the WA Ballet, which pitched in to help bring the ballet mistress to Perth.
Right after I finish the premiere here, I'm immediately going over to West Australia Ballet to work with them, and I'll be able to bring some of these students with me, and that's a tremendous pleasure and a tremendous honour.
And while there's more Balanchine around the corner for Perth's ballet lovers, it's the performers that might really be the big winners here, dancing a piece that has its own special place in ballet history.
It's romantic, it's dynamic, the music is stunning, there's emotion without being dramatic. I just think these students are the luckiest in the world to be doing a piece like that. I'm actually very jealous myself, because the feeling of being able to perform a work that's so musical, that's so emotive, that's so simple and yet so deep in meaning, it's just must be wonderful.
Claire Nichols there.